Hey guys, today's from the install bay. We're going to talk about Kenwood's new wiring harness. So stay tuned. So Kenwood's come out with their new line of CD players. For 2017, we have the KDC X501, and of course they have tons of other ones. But what's new is the wiring harness. That's right, they've gone ahead and updated the wiring harness. So if you had, let's say, a KDC X500, you wouldn't be able to plug this in because that wiring harness looks like this. Slightly different. So this little guy here, this guy does not have that. So let's take a look at the wiring harnesses just in general. Totally different. You have a ground where the power would be on this one. The speakers are totally flopped. You still have white here, but instead of white gray, you have white green. If you flip them over, the ground is where the old power was. So if you accidentally jam the old wiring harness into the new radio, you're probably going to let the smoke out. So definitely don't do that. New harness. So let's take a look at the new harness and talk about it for a minute and see what we got going on here. We'll start with where we always like to start, which is the speaker wires. This has four sets, I should say, of speaker wires. You have your whites, you have your grays, you have your greens, and you have your purples. Now the nice thing about the way this wiring harness is laid out is it's actually laid out right. These are your drivers, both sides here, and these are your passengers. So you have your front, your rear, front, rear. We call this 1, white is 1, gray is 2, green is 3, and purple is 4. Now each one of these has a solid color and a striped color. The stripe is going to be negative. So there again, driver's front, driver's rear, passenger rear. Pretty cool. Alright, let's move on to the rest of them. Next up is going to be the blue wire with a yellow stripe. A lot of people get this confused with the turn-on wire. This is not a turn-on wire. This is your steering wheel remote input. So if you have a car that has factory steering wheel controls and you'd like to retain them, the adapter you're going to buy, so something like a Pack Audio CP2, SWIRC, or an access module, they're going to attach to this wire right here. It's blue, light blue, with a yellow stripe. Following that, you have brown, which is a mute wire. Really the only thing this could ever be used for in today's cars is if you have something that has OnStar and you're trying to retain it and you bought a module that can interface with this. Other than that, this gets used for nothing. Then you have your blue with a white stripe. The blue with the white stripe on one side says antenna connect, and on the other side says power connect. So this is going to be universal. This can turn on power antenna leads. So if you got an aftermarket harness that has a blue wire in it, attach this. If you got an aftermarket harness with a blue and a blue white, attach this. This is the thing that's going to turn them on. They only have one wire to do it. This is very similar to other manufacturers out there. So now some of the models will have the blue wire. It'll be right next to it. This particular one doesn't. So hook everything up to this. Next up is the ground, which is black. The red, which is going to be key. This needs power when the key turns on and off. That's it. All this does is tell the radio to turn on and off. This really doesn't draw too much amperage. Usually anywhere between, let's say, a half amp to 1 amp. That's all this draws. This is not a load-bearing wire. And then last, you have the yellow. The yellow is the load wire. This is the memory wire. This is where all the power for the radio gets consumed. This is the thing that needs 10 amps of current, a minimum usually. So this is the constant 12 volts, also known as battery. So if you've picked up a new Kenwood radio and you had an old Kenwood radio, make sure you remove this harness and add the new harness. You guys, if you like these videos, subscribe. We like them too. We do these things 5 days a week. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and right here on YouTube. You guys have a great night, and we will see you later next time. Bye.